one European and by the way, when I say one European, this European doesn't even have to be a credible person. He just has to be a European. And then what he says about me is going to define me. You see what I mean? And somebody tweeted talking about Rwanda, talking about me, and saying, this. So because I was on Twitter, I actually answered back and said, no, so and so, I think you are mistaken. That's not me. That's not Rwanda. That's not our politics. And we went back and forth arguing, and then in the end, his conclusion and others in that part of the world was, you see, Kagame is intolerant of criticism. Even when they wrote it, I answered back, I said, no, actually you are more intolerant to criticism because when I disagreed with you and gave you facts, you are now saying, so you were criticizing me. Not only were you criticizing me, you were actually abusing me. Now, when I explain, when I tell you what I think, also my facts are the facts about this particular case. Now it has turned out that all of you gang up to say I'm intolerant. But you are more intolerant because you are not listening to my opinion. And I'm sure there would be Africans on the side who would agree with them because they are who they are. And that's what I think is absolute wrong mentality. That they are right because they are from where they come from. So in other words, they have set a standard that if so-and-so from the one side says, this African is like this, then we must all accept it for a fact. And you cannot answer back, because if you do, then you are intolerant to criticism. During these last elections, you know very well, while the Rwandans were having one kind of debate, the outside world was having another kind of debate. Meaning, how dare Rwandans think of having Kagame again as their president? Because this was the base of the argument. And of course, I would see Twitter everywhere, people arguing. So even some of them actually came to see me. Some friends out there, good friends, even sent by other friends or by governments to come and talk to me and say, you see, so I would listen. In fact, in one discussion, the Minister of Foreign Affairs was there. And the advice to me was, oh, by the way, why don't you actually do maybe what Putin did, the one of Russia? Meaning, can't you go allow somebody else to be there, and you can, behind the scenes, do whatever you want to do, and then at some point come back. I said, okay, one advice I have understood, I've listened. What are the alternatives? Oh, they say, okay, another alternative is, why don't you, among these people here, select, and sometimes they would even name names. Why don't you have so and so actually replace you, and then you stay behind And you start, you guide them from outside. And say, oh, okay, that's number 2. So another one? Actually, there was no other one until I told them what it was. Because I told them, I said, you've given me 2 choices. You are telling me that I can go this route, the first one which you said. I behave like somebody somewhere else in another situation. Or I actually look for a replacement myself and say, you and also start operating that one from behind. And it is acceptable to you. I said, but you are champions of democracy. You teach us so much about democracy. I didn't know that in democracies as old as yours, you actually practice it like that. Meaning, you want me to do this, or you want me to choose, or you actually choose because they're already naming people who could step in my shoes. I said, is this how you practice democracy in your place? Is this the democracy you want to teach us? I said, there's only one thing you have forgotten that is even more important, or most important of all. You haven't told me what you have learned about or heard from Rwandans. Where are they in all this? You haven't talked about them. So in other words, they are not actually thinking about Rwandans. No. They are thinking about leaders, we here in the room, and how we can be manipulated and manipulate each other, and that's it. It's not about the country of Rwanda. It's not about the people. They tell you freedoms, they tell you democracy, they tell you all kinds of things. They're not thinking about the people. That's the practical reality. They are thinking about their own interests and the interests they can achieve by manipulating leaders of our societies. That is the reality of the matter. There are no 2 ways about it. Now, even the other time, so during those elections, you know what happened. So, but we ignored them. But by the way, for those who may not know, because I think people need to understand even what happens here. First of all, one thing I would want everybody to go away with, we actually never pretend. We'll tell you, we'll tell you the thing as it is. You like it, you don't like it, that's your business. So the first thing about us, and for me, in this struggle I have been in, and what may even differentiate us from other situations because of leaders. You know, there are these great leaders. The Mandela that was talked about, or Gandhi, or other people, they struggled. They stood for certain ideals.